Yo, what's up? This is Rafaela again, and today I'm going to cover a topic of self-hate and replacing it with self-confidence and self-love. Alright, so I'm pretty sure all, if not most of us, have experienced self-hate issues. Maybe because of the family you come from, the way you look, the stuff that you have, where you live, the materials you have, or anything. It could be anything, related, anything from your skin color, it could be your physical ability, your physical shape, your height, your weight. There's a lot of reasons to be insecure about oneself, be insecure about some stuff. You don't have to go any further because I used to have self-hate for the fact that of the way I look. And I'm just gonna go over why I use some weird movements sometimes, because I don't use a regular office chair, which I'll get to in another video. I use a wheelchair. I'm wheelchair bound, and that's why I make some weird movements. Maybe at the end or at the beginning of the video if you ever catch them. So that's why I make some weird movements, and that's why you see in some of the earlier videos you saw a bath chair and maybe some lift for people with disabilities that can't stand. So that's why you see some of these, and I try to keep the background clear of everything, like the tile in the door. I just want to keep things clear. But actually not because I'm afraid to show it. I'm no longer afraid of admitting who I am, of admitting how I look like, and admitting the way I move. That's why you see me doing some weird moves, just letting you know why. So the thing with self-hate, how does it start? Well, it can start from you having a bad experience. It can start from childhood. You were in elementary, middle school, even high school, and you were told that, why do you look like that? Why are you so skinny for a guy? Or why are you so fat for a chick? Why are you this? Why are you that? Why you wear that? Why do you look like that? Why are your parents so poor? Stupid crap like that. Or even, if you go to, let's say you were a kid and you went to a school that's predominantly poor, working class, and they even bully you just because you have something that they don't. Like, why do you have such gadgets? You don't need that. You need to go with the struggle, or it can go vice versa. Because maybe you went to a school that's predominantly middle class, and you were poor AF, and your parents couldn't afford much. They were able to afford the basics, just so you and the rest of your siblings and they can get around and survive. And they just trash talk because you don't have enough. I mean, it could happen both ways, or they can criticize you of, why do you have an accent? Why do you speak that way? This is not the place for you to be speaking that way. This is the suburbs, or this is the ghetto, this is the hood. And they criticize you harshly, not just friends or so-called friends or classmates, but even relatives. You got relatives that will criticize you because of the way you look, what you have, and that's traumatizing to a kid. And then you start growing up thinking that you're not valuable, you're not meant to be loved, you're not meant to be cared for, you're just a waste of fresh air, pretty much. That's how you start thinking about yourself. And that's the stepping stones to start hating other people and start getting mad at other people and start enacting the behavior of your former bullies, because you were bullied, you were told crap. And that is no different with people with disabilities. Because when you have a disability, yes, you're going to get told stuff, not so much as an adult, they're going to be more covert. But when you're a kid, and for those who have disabilities, who are wheelchair bound, etc., and when you were in grade school, haven't you ever been told little comments like that at least once? And or if you were told those comments, how did you deal with it? Did you have any support system to help you deal with it, or you just had the balls to deal with it yourself? Because, like, for example, me, when I was in middle school, I was actually never bullied in middle school. Never was, because I had the balls to stand up for myself. Even when back in middle school, especially, I don't know if all school districts have that system in the entire country, but this is the school I went to, the middle and high school I went to, they will automatically provide you with a TA if you had an aide, if you had a disability. Someone to go help you out, push you or something, help you with your stuff, whatever the case may be. And she would defend that TA, the aide that I have, she would defend me. She would not let no one bully me, but there were times where she had to step outside, for some lunch or make a call. And I stood up to myself to the point where a lot of my classmates were pretty intimidated by me to even say, hey, what's up? Instead of, saying it, hey, what's up, with confidence, they would just come by me like, hey, what's up? Kind of like more out of respect. And then as those classmates went into high school, we matured more. So there was even less chance of being bullied. And they respected me more. Like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And they just say, hey, what's up, back? And we just got along pretty well. And then college came along. I went to a 4-year university and in 2011, and a lot more respect, a lot of diversity. And don't get me wrong, there was some forms of more covert discrimination still going on that I noticed. And I'm pretty good at reading people. A lot of people have told me, how the heck do you sense that? How the fuck can you sense that? Can you sense there's nothing right with this person, or there's something cool about this person? Like, I don't know, maybe it's a talent that I have. Maybe it's a talent that God gave me. Maybe, and I can use it. But don't get me wrong, I do make mistakes in reading people. I do. Sometimes, some people are harder to read than others. Some other people are more transparent. So when I went into university, people seem more respectful, but I still was covering myself. I still wanted to pretend that I wanted to be someone else. Pretend that I didn't have a disability. Pretend that I was not wheelchair bound. When it was noticeable, I was using the wheelchair. Both manual and power wheelchair. So it was noticeable. So the problem was I continued to hide it. I would take a picture on Instagram or Facebook and I saw that the wheelchair was almost completely covered. I wanted the entire wheelchair covered. I just wanted to see my face. Just my upper mid-torso to my forehead, because I was still ashamed of telling people that I have a disability. I was ashamed of people knowing that I have a disability. Even when I text people back then, I text cute women that I wanted to date or something, like something like that. I would never tell them that I was wheelchair bound. I just won't, because I was embarrassed. I thought they were gonna, shut me down or turn a date away because I was wheelchair bound simply because of that. And as I became more aware of, because I wouldn't even hang out with other people with disabilities. That's how bad it was. That's how ashamed I was of myself. That's how shit, that was bad. That shit was bad. That's how bad it was. I wouldn't even hang out with them. I only had maybe one or two friends, more like classmates that were wheelchair bound. Not even people with the same condition I had, which I will talk in the video in the future about it. So that's how bad it was. And I didn't make enough friends. I didn't even know how they would do things to live independently. Something that was vital for me. What if I ever move out of my mother's house? How the heck am I going to do it? I don't have no one to guide me on that. Someone who already had an older person or someone who lives on their own who has a disability, the same condition as me. How the heck am I going to guide myself? I just feel stupid. I don't know what to do, because my mother's not going to always be there to help me. I have to learn how to help myself and find a way to help myself. So I started trying to make contacts on social media with people with disabilities. I started recently. 2018 was the year that I accepted the way I am. I started being blunt about my disability. I started telling people when I meet people, when I make friends, when I go on a date, I tell them, before I go on a date with women, I tell them, I'm wheelchair bound, I have a disability. And I realize they're okay with that. Most are okay with that. They don't tell me anything. And you know what? Once I realized that, that's when I really started accepting myself even more and started making connections, trying to make more friends with people with disabilities. And I'm going to do that, especially with people with my condition. Because it's time to stop the self-hate, the self-loathe. Because it's not going to help you. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for nobody, whether you have a disability or not. Self-hate doesn't work. It doesn't help you. It's destructive to your mental health and even your physical health. So what are the ways to break that chain of self-hate? Well, simple. Just start replacing it with self-love, especially first self-confidence and then self-love. Because when you start loving yourself, the moment you accept yourself, that's when you're going to have more confidence in yourself, and you're going to have more self-love for yourself and self-love for the world around you. Even when there's war and chaos, you're still going to have love around you, because that's what really matters at the end of the day, is that you accept who you are, where you come from. Be proud of who you are, where you came from, and where you're going, and what your plans are in life. You gotta be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back. If nobody's doing it for you, do it yourself. And don't listen to anybody that's want to talk down on you and tell you that you can't, because that you can't, once you start listening to those you can'ts, that's when your life will be a miserable hellhole. Because you're going to just be wishing and not doing. It's better to do than wish. Do it now. Do it. Love yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Have self-love, self-confidence. Because if you don't, you're just going to be wishing. You're just going to be continue to hate yourself. Just hate, disrespecting yourself. You're just going to go over the habits of self-hate. One of the most noticeable habits of self-hate. All right, well, the first one is mistreating yourself verbally. Let's say you start eating the foods that you like. Or let's say you go for a run. You're in a rush and you go running. And let's say you're fat. You have skin that's sagging. Okay, no problem. But here's the problem. Here's where the problem starts with that. Let's say, some people, their skin flaps. Yeah, it happens. They're overweight. All right. But then they start complaining about that. They start complaining about their skin they start complaining about their weight. Oh, I can't run. Oh, damn it. I can't run that fast. I'm fat. That's one habit of self-hate. That's just an example. Talking down on yourself because of a physical aspect about yourself. If you're fat, well, embrace it. There's nothing bad about being fat. I mean, unless you're morbidly obese, where it's causing your health a pain, where it's causing your health problems, where it could be potentially fatal, then yeah, you need to start taking care of your body. But if it's not for that, shoot. Just like being skinny, being thin, being small frame, large frame, muscular, non-muscular, whatever the case may be. Just don't complain. Don't scream at yourself like that. Give yourself patience. If you're in the process of wanting to lose weight because you want to do it, well, give yourself time and patience. And here's another habit that I've noticed with people that have self-hate. It's complaining about their genetics. Yeah, their hereditary stuff. Their height, they're blaming it on their parents, their health issues. Oh, fuck. I am fat because of my family. I'm short because my damn family's short. Or I'm small because my family's small. Oh, I'm this because my family. Oh, I have these diseases. Oh, crap. I'm gonna blaming your family for the stuff that's going on with yourself. That's one habit. And then there's another. I'm gonna go over 3 more habits that I've noticed. Another habit that I noticed is this is the one that kind of gets on my nerves. It gets to me. Is your heritage. Oh, like hating where you come from, hating your culture, your ethnicity. Oh, that's the one that gets to me. Being self-hateful towards your own people, talking crap. There's one thing to assimilate to the dominant society in the country you're living in when you come from a different country that's different from the dominant society. That's one thing. But then there's another thing where you kick it up a notch times 1,000. And that's when you start talking crap about your culture. You even start hanging out with racist people that are known to hate your group, your people from the culture you come from. That's one that really gets to me. That's like, you're ashamed of something that's cool. I am proud of where I came from. I'm proud of having Mexican heritage. I'm just proud of that. Orgullosamente Mexicano. Although born in the US, but I am orgullosamente Mexicano. I don't care. I am. I love my culture. Despite, every culture has their own problems and issues that we gotta solve, but I'm just proud to the core of where I come from, where my parents come from, where my family comes from. And that's what really gets to me when I hear someone of the same group as me just talking crap because you thought you have it better. But remember, if it wasn't for that family that you started talking crap about, or that group that you started talking crap about, you wouldn't be here. Trust me, you would not be here. You wouldn't be successful. That's the thing, talking crap about it, about your own culture. Come on, if it wasn't for that culture, you wouldn't have what you have today. And here, there's another habit. It's something about your physical aspect, aspect of your facial features, for example. Let's say, there's a guy that wishes they can grow more beard, they can grow more, or they're getting bald, or their hair is so curly they don't like it, or their hair is so straight. That's another self-hate habit. You can't grow a beard, but you want to grow. You get pissed off because you can't grow a beard or facial hair, or you're pissed off because you're bald, or you're pissed off because you're too dark, or you're pissed off because your hair is not the texture that you wanted it to be. Well, too bad. You can't change that. That's genetics. I'm sorry. You can't change that. You gotta accept who you are. You can't change that. That's another thing you cannot change. You cannot. You gotta embrace it. Unless you grow a lot of beard and you can't stand that. I mean, you have a remedy with that. You can just chop it all off. Okay, here's the last self-hate habit. Now, this one has to do more with self-achievement. Hating yourself because you feel you can't do enough. You can't do enough financially. You can't do enough professionally. You feel like a failure. You feel like you're just useless. I mean, you're not useless. Whatever work you do, whatever work you put in, that's still a lot. That's work. Because there's people who do nothing, and then you do all the work, and you still say, come on, you're working your ass off. I mean, all day. I mean, all week. All month. Just, whatever work you do now, just think of a plan to do it better. Do it better and better every time. Every time you get a project at your job, or an organization you're working in, non-profit, find better ways to improve it, because you can. It can happen. It can be improved. What I'm about to say about having self-love. When you accept yourself, that's when you have self-confidence. Then you develop self-love. Now, when you have self-love, you see the world as beautiful. You see the world as a beautiful place to live, despite all the chaos and whatnot that you see around, all the arguments, the fighting. You're just not going to view your world as self-love. If you have self-love, well, you're more likely to have confidence in yourself and the work that you do, where you come from. You're going to ignore people that are trying to put you down mentally, because they won't. Because once you have self-confidence, shoot, you're just ready to roll. You're just ready to go kick some ass. And once you have that mentality, no one's going to knock you off your cloud, because the people that try to knock you down are also victims of self-hate. They hate themselves too. And they need help too. And you can be there to help them. Try to work with them. To the point where you realize they can't be helped. If you know they can't be helped, then move on to someone that can be helped. That have self-hate issues, and try to help them replace it with self-confidence and self-love. Because that's what that is. And it's a sickness. Self-hate is just a horrible sickness. Disease. You don't want to have self-hate. Because you feel horrible when you hate yourself. And when you hate yourself, you're going to hate others. And when you hate the whole world around you, when you still carrying the traumas from the past. You're still carrying those from childhood. You need to get over it. If you're an adult and your childhood wasn't horrible, it was just, other kids in the school that you went to, they called you stuff. Well, there's a thing that I'm going to say. Stand up for yourself. That's when you should have learned to stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself now. If you didn't do it in the past, do it now. Stand up for yourself. Just let people know that you're not going to put me down. You won't. I don't care what you do or what you say or how you're going to do it. You're not going to put me down. I've already been there. I'm immune to that. You can tell me all the crap you want. You can say the can'ts, the can't use, go ahead, tell me. I don't really care. I don't give a shit because I'm me. I am proud of who I am, and that's not gonna change me because that's what people respect. People respect people that see that they're showing who they are, the true colors at first sight. And, yeah, there's some stuff you can't do and can't say because for professional reasons, but just show who you are. Don't hate yourself. You gotta love who you are. Love where you came from. Love the way you talk, the way you speak, the way you walk. Whether you walk or you roll or you glide, whatever the case may be. Don't hate yourself. You're going through a tough situation? Well, there's a lot of help. There's a lot of support that you can get from first, your family, or you have your friends, or even yourself. Shoot, yourself. You can go check out your accomplishments, your achievements you've done in life, and pat yourself in the back. And remember, if you have something unique about you, then go ahead and think about that too. Think about that for a second. Because if you think about how unique you are, shoot, that feels so beautiful. That feels great. What other reason can there be to hate yourself? I mean, you got people that have a lot going for themselves. They're successful. They're, say, CEOs, they're entrepreneurs, or they have a very good high-paying job. They got a wife, they got a family, they got friends that love them, everything. Yet they're still hating themselves. Why do you hate yourself? Say you got, for a dude, you have a wife that accepts you for who you are, your flaws. You have your kids that love you. You have a family that will always support you even in your tough times. Some of your close friends who are going to be there for you. I mean, and you have a good job. That you impress your boss, the manager, your coworkers. I mean, you're impressing them. I mean, why would you hate yourself? Come on now. You have everything. You have stuff that I want to have, but yet I don't complain about it because I applaud you for that. I mean, you're being applauded for stuff, and you still hate yourself? Come on now. You got to think about other people who are less fortunate than you, who have nothing, but you have a lot going on for yourself. I mean, you're supposed to be thankful, appreciate that. You worked hard, and you continue to work hard. So why you got to dump that hard work, with negative talk, negative self-hate? Think about it. You achieved this stuff. You achieved this. Maybe you achieved something that nobody has ever achieved. Maybe you helped a company, raise, I'm going to give you an example, raise a lot of revenue that they never raised before in the company's history. I would be proud of all that. I would be proud. It's something I'd be proud of. Graduating from a university after being told when you were young that you will never learn to read and write. How awesome is that? That's the greatest feeling ever. So how cool is that? And then being told that you won't graduate from high school. I mean, you're beating the odds. If you're a person that's beating the odds like that, then you should applaud yourself. It should be more reason enough to love yourself. So if you have self-hate issues in your life, comment down below, please, and tell me how you got started and how you overcame self-hate. And if you still have self-hate, well, time to replace it with self-confidence and self-love, because I love seeing people with self-confidence and self-love. That's what makes my day. That's what puts a smile on my face, and that's all I want to see every day, that I put a smile on someone's face. That means that lets me know that I made their day. All right, everybody, peace. Yeah.